Good afternoon. India has 13 major seaports and over 180 minor ports, accounting for bulk movement of its maritime traffic. As part of the Amrit Kal vision, the country is planning an ambitious scaling up of its ports capacity. From the existing 2,600 million tons per annum, capacity of our ports is planned to be scaled to 10,000 million tons per annum by 2047. How can this be achieved, and what are the challenges on the way? To deliberate on these and more, we have an eminent panel of experts with us. We have Mr. Bhushan Kumar, who is the Joint Secretary in charge of Sagarmala, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, and we have Mr. Rathendra Raman, Chairman of the Kolkata Port Trust. Let me first come to Mr. Bhushan Kumar, since you are directly in charge of the Sagarmala project, which is a very prestigious project of this government. If you could give an overview of the progress on the project and how it is going to comprehensively change the maritime traffic in this country.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon to all the participants in this conference. So before giving you an overview of Sagarmala and the progress, let me give you an overview. As you mentioned, 12 major ports are there. We have more than 200 ports in our country. We have a very long coastline of 7,500 kilometers. In that 200 ports, a lot of them are under development, but 80 ports are handling the export and import business of our country, right? So, developing these kind of so many ports, 80 ports, making them world class is a huge challenge. And in the opening, that lady mentioned that the biggest challenge in this country is the logistic cost, which is very high, right? So to bring the logistic cost down, Government of India launched the Sagarmala program in 2015. As of now, we are working in coordination with all the state governments to improve the infrastructure. लोग जो कहते हैं ना कि भाई इंडिया के ports world class नहीं हैं, so the main objective is to improve the quality of infrastructure, improve the turnaround time, and make all our ports world class ports. So we are working on all fronts to improve the maritime infrastructure. So there are primarily 5 verticals under Sagarmala program. One is port modernization. Under port modernization, in Sagarmala overall, we have 830 projects having a value of 5.89 crore. So that is the magnitude of the Sagarmala program. Out of these 800 plus projects, nearly 230 projects are only for port modernization, where we are trying to revamp, trying to create new infrastructure in our ports, adding new cranes, bringing in PPP investments, and then we are also trying to establish the industries near our ports. One is improving, modernizing the port infrastructure, where we are handling ships. The second component of it is the industrialization, where we are motivating the EXIM-oriented industries. EXIM-oriented means any industries having at least one component, either import or export as their transaction, to set up their facilities in the ports area, so that they need not to spend any money in transportation unnecessarily to the hinterland and back, right? They can produce the products in the port itself and then export, or if they need raw material, they can import. So industrialization also we are investing heavily. And the third component is the port connectivity. Now whatever cargo is coming, we have to evacuate that cargo from the port very, very fast. So we are working on the port connectivity. So we have large number of ports, 80 ports. Now improving 80 ports, providing them the road connectivity, world-class road connectivity, rail connectivity is a huge challenge. So we have identified all those gaps. Now there we have around 298 projects going on, value more than 2 lakh crore. Last budget, if you remember, then the budget, in the budget speech itself, Honorable Finance Minister has allocated 75,000 crore this year itself, right? Going forward, we will spend much more money. So 298 projects for only connectivity, those are going on. Out of that, nearly 80 projects have already been completed and others are under process. Then we have another vertical, coastal shipping and inland waterways. We have 111 waterways, so we want to promote more and more freight movement through waterways. So we are developing all the waterways, and a lot of work is going on that, and there is a lot of improvement also. If we see the improvement in cargo volume in last 10 years, the cargo volumes have jumped from 8 million to 130 million. You know, that is the kind of jump. 18 times jump is there in the cargo volumes. In coastal shipping also, there is huge jump. We are now handling around 150 million ton, which was just 20 or 30 million ton, I think 10 years back. So huge jump. We are creating dedicated berths for coastal shipping. So that is another vertical on which we are working. The fifth vertical under Sagarmala is the skill development. Because to do all this kind of work, to bring more projects, to take our maritime sector forward, we need skilled manpower. So we are skilling our people, we are training them, we are providing 100% funding support to them. And also we are doing a lot of work for the fishermen, because when we set up the ports, then there is of course impact to the fishermen community. So we are taking them on board, we are training them, we are also modernizing their fishing harbors, we are creating new fishing harbors. So just to sum up the reply, we out of 800 plus projects, already 237 projects having value of 1.22 lakh crore already completed, and nearly 268 projects having value of around 2 lakh crore are under construction. The remaining one are under DPR, land acquisition, tendering, and those kind of stages. So that is the snapshot of Sagarmala program, and with these all interventions, we are taking it forward.
Excellent. Let me now bring in Mr. Rathendra Raman. Kolkata Port is, of course, India's oldest, 150 plus years. And it is unique in several ways, and you wanted to elaborate a bit on that. We would all love to hear it.
A very good afternoon to all of you. And let me extend my sincere gratitude to this India Today Conclave for inviting me. And I took this opportunity to come to Delhi because I wanted that I should interact with this kind of August gathering to explain about what we are doing in the eastern sector, especially at the Kolkata port. Let me first correct that is the basic reason. Our port name is now Syama Prasad Mukherjee Port, Kolkata, not as a Kolkata Port Trust. It is erstwhile used to be called as Kolkata Port Trust. Now it's called as a Syama Prasad Mukherjee Port, Kolkata. That's for the general information of the audience. And let me tell you, this is the oldest post in the country, and we are still surviving and thriving and giving a competition a new one. That speaks, and that is a testimony to our resilience and strength. Ours is a 153 years old port, and it is a unique port in the sense we have a two dock system. One is called Kolkata Dock System, and another one is a Haldia Dock Complex. And this port came into existence about 153 years back. In 1870, this Kolkata port started as a Kolkata jetty. Then in 1892, then came Khedipur dock. And in 1928, what is called another berth is Netaji Subhash dock, where we are handling container at present. And in 1977, Haldia dock complex came into the existence. So since it's a 153 years old, it has a unique features, and it has its strength as well as weakness. It's basically the riverine port. And not a riverine port, it has a 225 kilometers of navigational channel. From the sea, you have to come to 225 kilometers inside the channel to reach Kolkata port. For Haldia, you have to come inside 125 kilometer port. So, with a riverine port comes the draft challenge, where all the major ports are moving towards the mega ports and the big vessels. But here, since we have a draft issue, So major vessels cannot come inside. Only the feeder vessels are coming here. That's a big challenge for us. But we have taken all the challenges on the face, and we have taken it as convert into opportunity. And because since we are thriving for the 153-year-old, it means we have certain strength. What is the strength? That is our hinterland. We are well connected to this West Bengal. We are switching Kolkata, Bihar, Jharkhand, some part of Orissa, Assam, and entire northeast. We are even serving the landlocked countries. We can act as a gateway to the entire BIMSTEC countries. And this is the port, which is also connected to not only the road, railways, but inland waterways also. So that's the best part of this. We're connected with everything, all chance of evacuation. But since we are 153 years old port, so we are now, with the support of the government and government policies, we have initiated a number of steps for the modernization, and by 2030, we'll be there up front and taking all the challenges, and what are the weaknesses that we have, we'll try to overcome it.
Great. Mr. Bhushan Kumar, we talked about the fact that Indian ports have indeed come a long way in enhancing their services, but there are still a lot of constraints, which include low draft capacity, perishable goods, handling infrastructure, last mile connectivity, which is always a problem, and the domestic logistics system and port mechanization, not to forget. So could you please enlighten us as to what are the measures, that the government has been taking to address some of these, perennial issues?
So you are right that we are not having many ports which can handle very big ships. For example, Cape-size vessels, they need 18-meter draft, right? We have only 7 to 8 ports which can handle those kind of ships. Out of 80 plus ports which are handling cargo, only 7-8 ports can handle big ships. So what we are doing is we have set a target that by 2030, as part of Maritime India Vision, we will deepen the ports, and at least each major port will have one berth which will be which will have capability to handle the big ships. So we are deepening our ports. We are dredging the area to accommodate the bigger size vessels. What we are doing in addition to this is we are setting up new ports. So one port we are setting up in Vadhavan in Maharashtra. So that is in advanced stage of approval. All DPR, everything is completed now, and environment clearance is already in advanced stage. So that port will have capacity of 65 million ton, and it will be able to handle the vessels up to even 20 meter. The next generation vessels which will come, we will be able to accommodate that also. Another port, new port which we are setting up is in Galathea Bay in the Nicobar Island. So for that project, we have already received environment clearance. The DPR is nearing completion now, and very soon we will start work on that. So we are creating new ports. We are trying to deepen our ports, so that the efforts are going towards that. You mentioned about port modernization. So we are already spending, under Sagarmala only, we are spending 2.4 lakh crore on port modernization only. So we are trying to bring in the private player also, where we will harness their quick decision making, putting up the operational efficiencies, all those kind of benefits we will encash in our ports, and the infrastructure will get modernized. Already now half of the cargo in our major ports is being handled by private player only. So with so much of participation of private player, what happened now, our logistic efficiency, performance index, as per World Bank report, which used to be, we used to rank at 53, I think, about 10 years back. Now we are already at 38. So that is the improvement we have already seen in handling of ships, the logistics and movement of cargo in our ports.
Let me just come to Mr. Raman. You have given an overview of the port as such, and also you said being a riverine port, you have so much limitations. Could you please throw some light on the drafting that you've done, and how you have sort of managed to overcome some of these challenges?
Let me tell you, in the last 9-10 years, with the support of the government, and since let me tell you, our ministry is a very happening ministry. And we are also, since we have not let down our ministry, we have also come up with the challenges, faced it, and we have also reinvented ourselves. So recently, we are also increasing our capacity. In the last 7 years, we have increased our capacity from 71 million ton to 87 million ton. We have taken the capacity expansion projects of more than 700 crores, and connectivity projects almost more than 400 crores. And up to in the next 7 years, by 2030, almost we are going to increase our capacity by 30 million ton. We are going to have almost have 12 projects on our hand with the investment of more than 5,000 crores. So all of this, most of the investments are coming through the PPP, that is public-private partnership. This is one of the sectors, this PPP has been very successful. And people look up to the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways for the successful of this PPP projects. So we have already 3 projects in the line and 9 projects on the pipeline also. This way we have expanded our capacity, and let me tell you, last year we did almost 66 million ton of traffic. And within the 7 years from 2016-17, we were in the loss of 250 crore. Last year we made a profit of more than 300 crore, which is likely to jump up to more than 500 crore this year.
So one of the things that is commonly talked about the Indian ports, despite all the achievements that it has had over the last few years, has been that we have been losing out in a big way when it comes to the competitiveness compared to some of the global ports. And recently, in one of the addresses by the President Draupadi Murmu, she herself said that out of the 50 best container ports worldwide, India has only 2, which is JNPT and Mundra. So that is still a lacunae that we need to address. I would like to have a response on that.
See, first of all, infrastructure improvement is a time-consuming thing, right? So we are working on that, and I feel that we are improving our infrastructure, and the global bodies, they are also recognizing that. You mentioned about competitiveness, If you read the report, World Bank report on competitiveness, we were, in maritime sector, we were around 30th rank, in 2015 or 16. Now we are already at 23rd. So there is 7 rank improvement in competitiveness. If I talk about liner connectivity, right? How our liner connectivity means the big ship calling at our ports. So we were around 52 position about 8 to 9 years back when Sagarmala was launched. Now we are already at 34 rank, right? In terms of turnaround time is that vessel comes loaded and then unloads and go back. Or if it is coming for loading, then just loading or unloading of cargo and going back. So that is the turnaround time. Now for JNPA port, Jawaharlal Nehru port in Mumbai, that turnaround time is 0.9 days, less than 24 hours. That is better than Germany, US and many other developed countries, right? So we are improving the infrastructure, and that is getting recognized in the World report. And this is, I'm not saying, this is a UNECTED report, right? So similarly, I can cite a lot many, this kind of references where we have improved our infrastructure, and global bodies, UNECTED, World Bank, all of them are recognizing that.
Also, the draft ports bill is, is in the works. Do you think, there are certain significant measures that, regarding the transparency in port tariffs, which is going to be taken up, or revamping penalties for offences, etc., etc.? So is there something you can throw light on?
Yeah. So Indian Ports Act is a very old act. It is a 1908. कितने साल हो गए? So more than 100-year-old act, right? So 1908 Act, we are now revamping that, and we will have the new act enacted. So we are bringing a lot of changes in that. The important one is pollution, security, safety. All those things were not there in 1908, right? 1908, these were not the primary concerns. So we are, bringing the changes required in all these fronts: pollution, security, safety. Then we are going to have a consultative committee also. Maritime State Development Council will be there to have effective coordination with the state. Now in the existing system, the center government is running the major ports, the 12 major ports. The states are running their own ports, right? That's how we have so many ports. But now the challenge is how to provide them world-class connectivity. We can't spend so much money, to connect all this. So what we are saying is we should have a council where all of us should sit together, the center government, state governments, and then work out some national level planning, which port to prioritize, which not, how to take it forward, when to take it forward, all those things we will have. And then tariff. Now tariff norms are not there, or some states are having their own norms. So in tariff also we want to bring transparency. We are not going to cap the tariffs. We are not going to dictate the tariffs. What we are going to do is that 30 days before declare your tariff. It's not that now some war is there or some tsunami is there in some coast, east coast or west coast, then other ports start charging, heavily. So whatever ports will declare, that will remain applicable for next 30 days. So it is just that you declare your tariffs, your charges 30 days in advance, be open about it and transparent about it. That's all we are going to bring. And then data collection is not there. Now each port is having or maintaining their own servers, own data. We, for national level assessment analysis, we need data. So all those kinds of changes we are bringing in that bill. And that we have finalized after multiple consultation with states and all relevant bodies. So now the draft is ready and we'll take it forward.
You're also mentioning about cruise shipping, how, certain measures can be taken to do a world-class cruise infrastructure. Can you just give me some idea?
Yeah, so we are promoting cruise shipping also in a big way. So we were not having the international class of cruise terminals in our country. So what we are doing under Sagarmala program is that we are making world-class cruise terminal in Mumbai, Goa. We have already completed cruise terminal in Cochin, Mangalore, Vizag. So we are going to have world-class cruise terminal in each of our ports. And as a result, now what we are seeing is that we used to handle around 1 lakh cruise passengers a year, around 6-7 years back. That has already jumped to 4 lakh. And we are targeting that within next 2 years, 2-3 years, it will cross 10 lakh. And we want to be the main player in at least Asia Pacific by 2030. That's the target we have set. So as a groundwork, we have already created a lot of world-class cruise terminal, and we are in process of, I think, early next year, Mumbai cruise terminal will be inaugurated. That's ready. That's a huge terminal. And we already have, I think last month, we have flagged off Costa Serena. It's a huge cruise ship that is launched. More and more players are approaching us to have the cruise shipping ships running between in the domestic areas, right? From Bombay to Lakshadweep or Bombay to Goa. So you will have all big players, all big cruise companies having their ships here in our country, like you see in other countries, no? So very soon that will be there. Already some players are here. So that's the change we are bringing in our country.
It's wonderful. Will the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee port be ready to handle a cruise very soon?
Let me tell you, That way, what we are focusing on today is river cruise. At present, all these bigger cruise, they want what is called is a LOA. They're more than 200 meters length. On our length, jetty, that they have a length is only maximum that we can handle 172 meter. So we are, as on date, we are focusing on river cruise. That lots of opportunities there because we have Sundarbans near Kolkata, we have Mayapur, we have Raichak, and all this Kolkata city itself is on the bank of the river Hooghly, and there are lots of places that can be visited by the river cruise. Our first challenge is to develop a beautiful and modern river cruise terminal, and we'll take it forward depending on the demand in the future.
Recently, you signed a 36,000 crore with a mega deal with a lot of other companies looking at port-driven industrialization. Can you just throw some light on that, Mr. Raman?
See, basically now we almost all the ports, we are focusing on what we call a smart green port. There's what guideline has also been issued by the ministry, like what is called a Harit port. So our main that we have signed. That was almost 36,000 crore MOU with the different companies. One major MOU was the NTPC. They have a green renewable energy and other verticals in the company. We have signed with the NTPC with respect to the development of hydrogen terminal in Kolkata. So, that is almost to more than 24,000 crore investment, and we have also tied up with the development of a solar energy and other renewable energy with the NTPC. What we have envisaged at present, and with Haldia and Kolkata combined, we have requirement almost 16 megawatt, and we have we have almost installed capacity of 2 megawatt of solar energy. So what we have planned by 2030, we should be able to handle all the energy requirement with the solar renewable green energy. That's our focus. That's where we are signed up with different companies. And since we are Bangladesh is our neighboring country, we have also signed a MOU with the company called SAF there for development of the multimodal transport between India and Bangladesh. And we have also signed up with one development of LG terminal, the liquefied natural gas terminal at Haldia with the Inverne Group. So this is a major investment of MOU that we have signed recently.
So by when do you plan to complete all these projects? And how do you finance it?
See, almost these that we have signed, they will be financed by with whom we have signed these MOUs, and we will be providing the basic infrastructures. Where we have land, we'll provide them the land. Where we have to come up with the basic jetties and all these things, that will construct. Basic physical infrastructure will be provided by the port, and they will do the entire research because this green hydrogen is still in a nascent stage. So they will bring the technology and all those things, and we will provide them the physical support.
So, Mr. Bhushan Kumar, the green ports concept, since Mr. Raman has raised it, it's been coming into vogue. Could you please throw some light as to how this can be fast-tracked in this country?
Green ports, right? So, what we are doing is green ports. So ports are handling ships, and ports are having a lot of vehicles coming in, right? And ports are having their own assets, right? 3 assets are there. So for the ships calling at ports, what we are mandating is that ships should not burn diesel when they are in ports, right? They should use electricity from the shore and run their ship or whatever equipment they want to run inside the ship. So we are now creating the facilities for supplying the shore power to the ships. That is for the ships. So we don't want them to burn their diesel oil in a port area. For the port equipment, we have asked our ports to generate solar power. Already, as I am speaking, we are generating 135 megawatt in our ports, 12 ports. So you can imagine our Kandla port is already on fully on solar. Mangalore port is already fully on solar. Others are also now ramping up their solar power production. By 2030, we have set a target that each port must generate more than 60% of their requirement from solar, right? So that way our all energy will be from the solar. And then on the traffic which is coming to the ports, let me give you an idea. In JNPA, Jawaharlal Nehru Port alone, every day more than 10,000 trucks come, right? Every day, that is the kind of the volume of traffic we are seeing in ports. So what we have asked our port is that create green fueling hubs. Green fueling is CNG, electrical, LNG, all these which are better than diesel, right? And give them the incentives to switch from diesel to the greener fuels, right? Our preference will be electrical, but electrical trucks are not available in that much quantity, but and for heavy load. So maybe initially we will go for CNG or LNG, and then gradually we will switch over to electrical. And in long run, we will switch over to the hydrogen fuel cell. So that mandate is already given, and ports are working. They will give incentives. So this way, from entry to exit, from vehicle to the ships to our assets, we are converting everything into the green. And also we are going to now, yesterday only we discussed and finalized that we will also have the offshore windmills. You know, right now we don't have any offshore windmills, but in foreign countries, when you go, you see a lot of windmills installed in sea. So now in Tuticorin, VOCPA port in Tamil Nadu, we will have the windmills installed to generate at least 10 gigawatt. So that is the project we are taking forward. So that is how we are greening our ports.
And any particular deadline you have given for turning these ports into the green ports?
As I said, by 2030, each port must generate more than 60% of their demand. So that is the kind of target we have given. And by 2047, of course, everyone has to run 100% on the renewable energies.
Excellent. So I think between these two gentlemen, you know, we have had a good discussion where we got a very macro view as far as Mr. Bhushan Kumar is concerned. And we've got the opportunities and challenges of one particular port, and that was a very unique and oldest port in this country, which, as our guest Mr. Raman has said, is still thriving and surviving, not just surviving but thriving. And it's excellent that you have turned around the port, and it's now looking at a 500 crore profit. So I think you know, this is also a good testimony to the way we can sort of turn around enterprises, given the enthusiasm and the right kind of strategic focus. So thanks a lot, gentlemen, and all the best, and let us hope to have all our ports turn green, you know, at the earliest, in tune with whatever is the global trend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.